Hello folks, and welcome to this week's Music Alerts video, where I tell you what physical music product I have received through the post this week. Now this week I have some vinyl to show you, but I have a lot more CDs, so let's start with those. First up, and UK outfit Jasmine has a bunch of new releases for your delectation, and we will start with a 68-track collection spread over 2 CDs called The Wonder of Woolworths. This focuses on the Embassy label spanning 1955 to 1962, and it features songs that were mostly US hits before they were released in the UK, and they're real B-movie kind of music tracks, but fascinating nevertheless. Next we have Skeets McDonald and his 32-track Rock It but Don't Wreck It, a West Coast countryman and a founding father of the later Bakersfield sound. This one spans 1956 to 1960. Speaking of 1960, Muddy Waters now, and At Newport. This one is expanded and it combines 2 LPs, Muddy Waters Sings Big Bill, a tribute to Big Bill Broonzy, and Muddy Waters at Newport 1960, plus 5 bonus live cuts from the Newport gig. Next, from soul man Donnie Elbert now, and What Can I Do, which just so happened to be his big 1957 hit. Later, Elbert would have success with Tamla Motown revival material, but this earlier collection is equally worthy of your attention. Next up we have the remarkable Nellie Lutcher and a CD called She's Real Gone. Well, poor old Nellie actually is. This one features singles from 1947 to 1952. She offered her listeners swing, piano, jazz, scatty vocals and a unique delivery. These are her most famous R&B releases. Next we have Neville Taylor, a Caribbean expatriate based in the UK, and this man found fame on TV in the UK with the group The Cutters and on the famous TV programme Oh Boy. Collected here on CD for the first time, we have tracks spanning 1957 to 62. This one also includes a pseudonym he used for the Embassy label because that was a thing back then, and that pseudonym was called Hal Monroe, but one and the same man. Finally, Barbara Dane's 2 albums collected here on CD for the first time, called When I Was a Young Girl and On My Way. This lady sang blues, she sang folk, she sounded a bit like Etta James, and these early recordings are worth a listen. Now on to Avid, another UK label, and 4 albums squeezed into one package from a number of Doo-Wop groups, specifically the 5 Saturns, the 5 Royals, the Spaniels. You gotta love these Doo-Wop group names, the Spaniels, and in that particular mode, the Flamingos. A great selection and an ideal introduction to the genre. Another Avid collection and another 4 albums, this time from the jazz pianist Max Waldron. 4 albums from the late 50s. His work showed an influence from Thelonious Monk, while his groups featured major talents like John Coltrane. Next we're going to move labels and we're going to go to a label called Kent and a compilation called Groove Machine, the Earl Young Drum Sessions. Now this is Soul Man Young, who drummed on a wide range of tracks all the way from the 60s all the way through to the 80s, and he kept time with the best of them. I'm talking about people like the OJs. He played with Teddy Pendergrass, he played drums with the 3 Degrees, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. He toured with Stevie Wonder, played on singles with the Jacksons, the Whispers, Stylistics, and a whole lot more. Not all of these are on this 23-track compilation, but this particular CD will give you a head start to the man's talents. Next we have the Ace label and Mina, the queen of Italian pop, and her work from 1963 to 67. But her delivery could range from R&B to bossa nova to jazz, even some disco. Mina was, well, ahead of her time. She was quite liberated. She was into the sort of girl power image, quite innovative, quite boundary pushing. And she was Italy's, well, one of Italy's, if not the most famous music star of the time. Next, also on Ace, another compilation, this time from Bob Stanley and Pete Riggs. This one is called Fell from the Sun, Down Tempo and After Hours from 1990 to 91. So quite a targeted piece of time there. This is a 14-tracker. It includes tracks from people like Primal Scream, The Grid, Transglobal Underground, but also more obscure groups, well, more obscure to me anyway, people like One Dove and History. The informative track-by-track booklet will be your friend here. Next, we've got New York City Blues, a 26-track Ace compilation, and another great booklet, I hasten to add. That's been produced to tie in with a book. The book is called New York City Blues, Post-War Portraits from Harlem to the Village and Beyond. And it includes tracks from people like Blind Boy Fuller to Brownie McGee and John Hammond. Check out the CD, check out the book. Next up, from the Australian outfit Payback comes Little Girls, a sort of bubblegum variant of 80s new wave, and includes the novelty hits, the Earthquake song, and How to Pick Up Girls. This collection includes the Thank Heaven mini album. You get demos, unreleased songs, and more, over 26 tracks. Next, and we have the Yes lead singer, or should I say ex-lead singer, Jon Anderson, and In the City of Angels on the Floating World label. This was an album he released, a solo album, in 1988. Now, I love the band Yes. I also love Jon Anderson in particular. But this one is a spotty album, you might say. It has its highlights, normally when the man releases his spiritual side. It has this kind of uplifting thing going on. When it gets to nitty-gritty, I love you kind of songs, anyway, fans should check out this one for those highlights. Another CD, and this one is from a couple, Andrea and Mud, on the Guest Wi-Fi Records label, called Institutionalized, and a genre they describe as surf western. And yes, imagine the merging of those two genres with a smattering of the Ventures and Jerry Reed. That's what we have here, with melodic yet gritty lyrics. Choose the bottle or me, says the song. That's the album in a nutshell. Now, I want to thank the guys for this rather interesting business card. This sticker, this other sticker, and this very sweet thank you note, which, for an alarming second, I thought was a kidnap ransom note. Perfect. And finally, in this CD extravaganza, one Tony Monaco and his trio, and a CD called Over and Over on the Chicken Coop Records. Now, Monaco is a Hammond organ player, and I do like me the sound of a Hammond organ. This one, well, this one offers smooth jazz. There's a real loungy feel to it. It's a little bit kitsch. I'm not sure Tony wanted it to be kitsch. Well, it sounds that way, and in a good way. It's not horrible. It's not bad in any way. I like this a lot. But it has that classic space-age pop, exotica feel of the 60s. Like I say, I'm guessing the man himself didn't intend it to be this way, but that's how it comes over, and I like it. First final entry for you this time around, and it comes from Demon, and it is a whopper. The complete studio albums from Frank Black and the Catholics. That's the Pixies' lead vocalist, of course. And that means 7 LPs, 80 tracks, all pressed on clear vinyl, all remastered at Studios, plus a booklet spanning 32 pages and contained in a sturdy slip case. Specifically, we're talking Frank Black and the Catholics from 1998, Pistolero from 1999, Dog in the Sand 2001, first time on vinyl for that one, Black Letter Days 2002, Double album, again, first time on vinyl. Devil's Workshop, 2002, again, first time on vinyl. And Show Me Your Tears, 2003. Next up, we have remixer John Luongo, presented by Arthur Baker. This is a double album, and the man's work is featured here via a host of well-known bands and artists. People like Visage, ABC, Billy Idol, Tina Turner, Patti LaBelle, Level 42, Casey and the Sunshine Band, and many, many more. And finally, we have Kirsty McColl and her greatest hits double album package called Free World, the best of 1979 to 2000, pressed on yellow vinyl. This 25 tracker includes They Don't Know, There's a Guy Works Down the Chip Shop, Swears He's Elvis, A New England, and all that kind of thing. There's also collaborations with Evan Dando and Billy Bragg and the Pogues. And that's it, folks. Thanks for staying to the end of this particular video. I'll be back next week with more goodies, I am sure. Just down below, could I ask you to click on the like and subscribe buttons? Just helps this channel to grow, and I hope it will. And what else have I got for you? Further down below, I have links to my Facebook group, my website, and my Patreon page. And over on Patreon, there is a regular, weekly, exclusive video. You can see it's called Hi-Fi News, etc. Includes Hi-Fi News, surprise, plus other stuff. There's music trivia, there's hints and tips and other news and stuff. So have a look, see what you think. I'll be back on Sunday with something hi-fi flavoured. I'll be back this time next week with another music alert. Hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.